Here we go.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Not Right, Not Wrong, your favorite podcast.
Facts.
Facts. Facts. This is Tamika, and I'm joined with the usual suspects. Ja, how are you doing, my friend?
I am well. I am well, sister. Everything is
Beautiful.
good.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Sir Mark, my friend, how are you?
D1, what's happening? Listen, I
Well,
feel like I feel like a magnet.
you feel
That's
like
how I
a
feel right
magnet.
now. I feel like a magnet.
What does that mean?
It's too much to explain, but I feel like a magnet.
Okay.
On the whole, I'd say I'm well. Might
You're
be
well.
different tomorrow.
You're well. And you're invoking the theory of magnetism. We don't
I
know what
like
that
that.
means right now. It's
I'm putting
it's
it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I want to know what you're attracting, but it seems like you're keeping that a secret for now.
Yeah, that's gonna be an episode, and we'll
Okay.
touch on that.
All right, Sir Magnet. Good to see you.
Likewise, likewise.
How about yourself, D1?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Thank you for asking. I'm excited. I'm always excited to be in the space with y'all. I just want to start out by saying y'all are phenomenal. Yeah, I sent it to you guys in a text, but I want the audience to know how much I appreciate both of you gentlemen and how much I appreciate working with you. You make this a delight. So thank you.
Oh man, you're gonna make me blush.
Feeling is mutual, D1. Feeling is mutual.
Absolutely that. Absolutely that. It's a trio for a reason. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Yes, likewise. Same here. Same here.
You are both welcome. Perhaps we're all magnets. Maybe that's the thing.
Listen, I'm going with that. I love it.
Okay. All right. Well,
Nasty.
gentlemen, I'd like to keep the love fest going a little bit, if we may.
Let's do it.
It's Women's History Month. Every month is something, right? This is Women's History Month. Welcome to March. Well, we're smack dab in the middle of March. But before we leave this month, I wanted to just take a minute and recognize the women in our lives, the women who have made an impact on us, the women who we want to give flowers to, the powerful women, the successful women, the loving women, the nurturing women, the um strong women, the beautiful women, the maybe the women that we know that are really close to us, maybe the women who we adore from a distance. But I thought it would be nice to kind of take a minute and do that today.
That's hot.
Yeah.
That's
Y'all with
hot.
me?
With you.
1,000%.
All right. All right. So I know usually it's ladies first, but I'm hosting tonight and I get to do whatever I want to do.
You got the floor.
Got the floor.
And
Women's
so
History Month.
Women's History Month. I like it. Women, you do whatever you want this month. And so I'm gonna start with Ja. Ja, tell me about some women in your life.
Oh, you want me to lead off?
I want you to lead off.
Set it off,
Gladly.
yeah.
You didn't see it coming, did you?
Gladly. Oh no. Oh no.
Set it off, ja.
Not at all. Moi.
Moi? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, let's shout out 92.6 The Spot. We are on live Fridays between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. You know, shout out to all the
Yes.
other podcasts. Shout out to WKPB family.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So first and
Let's keep
foremost,
winning.
keep winning. Keep winning. But yes. So D1, all those descriptions you've put out, all the women in my life encompass all those descriptions. we said strong, nurturing, loving, intelligent, uh, ingenuity, talented. Yes, yes. There's plenty of women in my life that has impacted me in a way, and I appreciate them wholeheartedly. And these are very dynamic women to me. And so I'm gonna start off with the woman of whom I came out of. Yes, my mother.
Most fitting.
Yes, yes, my mother, Miss Rima Sterling. I'll tell you about Miss Rima Sterling.
All right, Miss Rima Sterling.
Yes, yes, yes. Miss Rima Sterling is a very active woman, still agile, still mobile at almost 80 years old. She's not 80 yet. She will be soon. Next year, in fact. She's gonna be killed. She's gonna kill me to revealing her age, but it's all good. But
We
yes,
love it.
I'm proud to say that she will, God willing, she will turn the big 80 next year. Still very mobile. So this woman,
yes, tell us.
has taught me basically how to take care of myself. I've learned how to cook from 9 years old. This woman has taught me how to wash clothes. This woman has taught me how to cook. This woman taught me how to fold clothes, press clothes, even the old school. Yes, yes, iron. Yes, yes.
Lost art.
Yeah, taught me about banking. Taught me how to save money. Taught me how to balance a checkbook.
Wow.
Just taught me how to be a responsible adult. So I was well prepared to be in the world as a responsible adult. Thank you. Thanks to this woman. Yes. And this woman is also a very talented performing artist, dancer. She has been involved in the performing arts and been a dancer and taught dance for many years. She's also has been involved in nonprofit. That's where I get my nonprofit ideas from. In participating in nonprofit with Mark and community, she was involved in that as well. She's a pillar of the Yonkers community. She was involved in a nonprofit organization out there for underserved kids in Yonkers. Called Youth Theater Interactions. So she was involved in that for over 35 years. You know, so wow. She's currently now taking it easy. You know, she works part-time, but she's trying to, she's been maintaining herself, trying to figure out a way to retire. She does tax preparation at H&R Block right now. She's been doing that for X amount of years, so she's looking to retire towards doing that at H&R Block. Yes. Second woman.
Wow. Wait, can we? I just want to stop.
Yes, go ahead.
At Mama Sterling for a second and give her full attention, her full recognition.
Yes.
She said an applause.
Yes. Yes.
She sounds like such a dynamic woman.
Yes.
And I can feel the love oozing off of you as you talk about her.
Yes, 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 yes. Now, the second woman I want to acknowledge is, some people like to call them my stepmother. I don't like to use that term. I like to call her my other mama.
My other mama.
Yes. Now, I have the honor and privilege of being her other son. And I have the honor and privilege to be affiliated with this woman in a family atmosphere, in a family matter. She is the mother of my younger sister. And this woman here, her name is Ayoka Chinzira. This woman you can literally Google. She is a renowned film director. She has directed currently she's directed various episodes for television series, shows such as Queen Sugar, other shows such as, I can't remember them right now, but Queen Sugar and Greenleaf, one of the main shows that she has directed episodes of.
Wow.
She's been in the film industry for, I want to say, about 40 years, over 40 years. She's been in the film industry. She's a renowned film director, cinematographer, photographer. Also, she's a screenwriter. And like I said, she's in the industry. She's well renowned. She's rubbed shoulders with plenty heavyweights in the industry. She knows many people in the industry, and she is a woman who is very strong, very has a lot of ingenuity. Is about honing her craft consistently. She hones her craft consistently, believes in honing her craft consistently. She's also a professor at Spelman. Yes, so she and she's a woman that always, growing up, always made an effort to treat me as her own. She never wavered from that. And at times, I was distanced, probably because of allegiance to my mother, but she was a woman that always reached out, showed love, always wanted to keep the family together, always saw to it that my sister and I had a close relationship. And so, and again, a little flex, but this woman you could Google. So I got somebody you could Google.
We here for the flex. We here for the whole entire flex. It don't have to be a little flex. Let it be a big flex.
This the moment for it. Give her flowers.
Yeah. So that is my other mama, Miss Ayoka Chizira.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So love her dearly as well. Third woman, speaking of her, third woman I want to acknowledge is my baby sis, Ash, who followed in my other mama's footsteps. She is a talented producer, screenwriter, Emmy. I think she's Emmy nominated. She's been involved in some current projects. She's directed some well-known actors and actresses. She's been involved in many productions in television and film. She's even created her own film. She's even collaborated with her mother on film. So she went to LaGuardia High School around the same time as Alicia Keys and Khalees. So she's known them. So my sister's out here doing it. She also teaches classes on how to write, to be a producer, and how to write screenplays. She teaches classes on that, online classes on that, or she used to. I don't know if she does now, but she used to. So she has turned out to be a dynamic woman in her own right. Yes, that is my sister.
Yeah. Yes. So we didn't pause and give your other mama a little applause.
Yes. So go ahead. Yes. Come on. Yes.
Cheers to your other mama, and also cheers to your baby sis.
Yes.
They both sound amazing and dynamic, and I think you are a representation of these women that are around you.
Thank you. And
That's a fact.
Yes, yes.
Definitely. I can
And
definitely see that. For me, knowing Ja, as long as I can definitely see how they have sprinkled that on him.
yeah, for sure, for
That's
sure.
a blessing.
All credit due, all credit due, all credit due. Yes. And I'm gonna throw in my little baby girl in there, my daughter,
Oh,
Miracle. She
You
is a
must.
miracle.
You
Yes,
must.
yes, yes, yes. My baby girl, she's a handful. But the one thing I always admired about her, and I tell her this all the time, and is that she's a fast learner. She's able to pick up things very quickly. And I remind her of her brilliant mind. The fact that she could pick up things quickly is a sign of brilliance. I remember when I taught her how to ride a bike, and she learned how to ride the bike in less than 2 weeks. So it was like a week, maybe a week and a half, but it was definitely less than 2 weeks. She knew how to ride a bike. And then she was riding all up and down different townships in Jersey. As she was smart enough to tell me years later. Because she knows
she's
I.
like, listen, Daddy, you gave me the wheel.
Listen, at that age, the bike is like a car, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So being that I noticed that, I always encourage her to whatever she's learning, harness it, just hone in on that consistency turns into mastery. I remind her that, just hone in on that. It's great that you can pick it up quickly. That's great, but hone in on it because it turns into mastery. You can be masterful in anything that you set your mind to. You just got to tap in and be focused. But she's growing up to be a lovely young woman. Uh, she's I have to start being one of those papas giving boys the evil eye right now. A little bit. It's getting
Listen,
I
to
can
you
tell you
better
all about that. I can tell
that.
you all about it. That's a
you
whole other episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
better do it a lot of it. We both we know what Miracle is
yeah,
doing out here in these streets. What she's bringing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's a beautiful young woman,
Yes, thank
physically
you.
outside and inside.
Yes, yes, thank you. I had to check. I already had to check a few young men, so yeah,
You
so
you checking young men bad boy style. You go into the door with
nah,
your
nah, nah,
spoon.
nah, 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 nah.
With Will Smith.
It hasn't gotten to that point. It hasn't got to that point. It's just been over the phone. Just been over the phone. You know what I'm saying? So they have real grown men on the other side. They're like, oh, all right. You know,
Let me chill.
yeah. All them shenanigans cease. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes. So that is baby girl, Miss Miracle. She is a miracle. She actually teaches me a lot, believe it or not. She teaches me things about myself that sometimes it's hard to face. But
Mm.
her, I'm always a believer of the person that's in front of you is always your information, and they're a reflection of what you project in your consciousness. And boy, Miracle teaches me a lot. And
What
More to
has she
learn.
taught you? What she taught you, Ja?
what does she teach me? Um, pushing through that threshold, like I was mentioning about honing in on some things, pushing through the threshold, being complete about things, being complete about stuff. Also, um, not not to play small. Stop playing small. Don't self sabotage. Stop self sabotaging yourself. Stop playing small. So she puts that mirror in front of me, with that type of information, those type of issues that I internalize, that I consistently work through on a day-to-day basis. And that little girl, definitely holds that mirror up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So she is a blessing. Last but definitely not least. Last but definitely not least.
He about to look. I knew it. I knew he was gonna look to the side. I knew he was gonna look to the side.
Last but definitely not least. Who other than the missus, my queen, Miss Angelia Holloway Pinnock.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, the queen.
D1 was waiting for that.
The queen.
Like, she was giving you the assist.
I was waiting.
I know she was looking like she's like, you better. You better, boy.
He not cutting to C1.
Listen, you got the alley-oop.
Yeah. But you see how I let up. I say the best for last. You close the show. You close the show with the
drop the mic.
Look, your voice got bigger too. Like
yeah. That's how you close the show.
Yes.
the cleanup. The cleanup hitter. You know what I'm saying? To use the baseball analogy.
Yes, your Angela Bassett to your Courtney B. Vance. Let's go. Let's hear about it.
Let me tell you something about this woman. Very intelligent, great orator. You talk about someone who can talk to a crowd, motivate a crowd, move a crowd. This woman is a great orator. She's a masterful speaker. And I tell her that all the time. She's very proficient at speaking engagements. I've seen her done many, and she knocks it out the park all the time. This woman is a HBCU graduate. She's also an NYU graduate. Yes, she has a bachelor's and a master's.
Which HBCU?
Howard.
Okay, come on, Howard.
Yeah, yes.
Did you see the little bit of shade I gave Howard? Angie's wonderful though. She's amazing.
Yes. She's an HU grad. She's an NYU grad with a CRC attached with it. Certified rehabilitation counselor. She has her own practice, and she's a head administrator at CUNY College right now. But that's it. This woman is highly spiritual. She can be clairvoyant if she wants to be. So ain't nothing being put past her. She ain't no fool.
Y'all scared.
See what you hear it, right? You hear it.
Y'all scared.
I ain't scared. Listen, I ain't never scared.
It's all right.
I ain't never scared.
It's all right. Scared.
Listen, I tell you what though, it says something about me if I'm attracting all these powerful women. So there's that.
I ain't mad at none of that.
I ain't mad at it either.
But just the fact that as a man, I acknowledge their power. I acknowledge their ingenuity. I acknowledge their strength. I acknowledge their love. These 5 women that I mentioned are all powerful in their own right. You know what I'm saying? The missus has exposed me to a lot of things. It was the missus that guided me to the spirituality that I practice now. It was the missus that she's taught me many things, many things, but especially from a spiritual aspect, she's introduced me to a lot of things, a lot of avenues in life. So yes, the missus, the queen,
The queen of it all.
the queen of it all, the HBCU grad, the NYU grad. Yes, super
Yes.
intelligent, super
Give her
spiritual. Yes,
her flowers, her
yes,
applause,
yes.
her thanks for gathering you all the way up.
We need an air horn. And frightening
Yes,
you.
indeed, indeed, indeed. So, yes, love all those women daily, and salute to all those women.
Respect. Much
Mm-hmm.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
Salute. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And as both C1 and I already said, we could see it all over you. We see the impact, we see the lessons, we see
Definitely.
all of the things
The
that these
seasoning,
women.
that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
C1, tell us about the powerful, successful, nurturing, entrepreneurial, intelligent, beautiful, spectacular, amazing women in your life.
Oh man. So I got a whole list. I doubt if we'll get to all of them. But we'll see how it go. So you just want me to say all of them, or we want to go around, or how you want to do this?
Nah, go for it. Take the floor. Go for it. We will give you all the time you need.
All right. So I want to get to at least 6 of them, because definitely through the course of the shows, you've definitely heard me mention my sister, my mom, my daughter, and then it's other people outside of that we have read about in school, and they continue to inspire to this day. But I'll start off with my daughter. For one, she watches the show, and she always asks when we're gonna do a show about her specifically. And
I know
this
that's right.
it's a fact. I said, I don't think we're gonna do a whole topic about you and just run the whole hour. But as you know, you've definitely come up before. Everyone knows I have a daughter. So let that be known.
Right.
So this is her moment to shine. And I recently had a moment with my mom when went to go see her. So whenever I see her, we reminisce often, and she happened to reminisce about the time my daughter was born. She was a baby. So there's nothing you could read about being a parent. There's no online course, no classes you could take. That's on the job training, for lack of a better term. Once they hear you in that, this is it. Nothing you could read, book. Only thing you could do is just pick up jewels and wisdom from people before you, and then apply that once you're in that situation. So she was just mentioning how she just let me dad. You understand? Automatically, she wanted to just take over. Oh, Mark, you don't do this. You do that. You do this. You do that. Pick them up like this. Put it down like this. Feed her like this. So she just let me do it. And she was just mentioning her being proud of me doing that. And not always, hey, mom, listen. Hey, mom, listen. She just let me learn it. So within that, my daughter, she grew up, and it's beautiful to see where she is now in regards to her having her own opinion about life, her own opinion about religion, her own opinion about her. So it's less about us speaking for her, and that transition from pre-K to elementary to junior high, and just seeing the opinion come about to where she could just go off and continue on with that opinion, and just continue to manifest the things that she speak about if she believe it. Josh says consistency turns into mastery. So we definitely a fan of quotes. I am, she is. So I definitely speak towards that, and her having something to say every day, right after she prays. Just having something to say every day to kind of keep you going. And she is definitely doing that. And she inspires me to be better because she's learning by example. So a lot of the things I do is based on her watching. Now, as we know, kids may not always do what we say, but they always listening.
Yeah.
And they're always watching. Because they'll always say, well, remember when you said, you know, what parent likes to hear that? So it's easy to just say, do as I say, not as I do. But again, you got to live by example. Also, definitely my mom, as you all know, you've heard the shows. Tamika's mom and mine look alike. They all often got mistaken for each other a lot, and often down the street, up the street. Oh, they go. Oh, that's not her. A whole lot.
Yep.
So, I mean, the whole rest of this episode, I could speak about my mom, but I'll just keep it something simple and say this. Whenever it is I see my mom, despite how I feel about the world and all the ills of the world, as soon as I hold her and she hugs me, it feels like I'm having a rebirth. I'm not even Mark Mills anymore, 52 years old. I am a baby.
Oh.
And it feels like that. You understand? And we just embrace, and she'll just say something like, look at my youngest. And we just stand there hugging, and everything that may have been wrong prior to me hugging her is gone.
Wow.
You understand? If that could capture how I feel about her, allow that to capture it without me, because I could say too much, but I just want that to be like the main point, and just what she does without even speaking. You understand? Same thing when I exit, same hug, and then I'm ready to face anything. So upon entry, when I see her, when we hug, I feel like a newborn. And then during the course of my visit, and it's time for me to leave, I feel like I'm ready to take on everything with the hug before I exit. You understand?
Wow.
And then, I have to speak about my sister because she watched the show too. And she would have been like, oh, wow, Mom, word. So, oh,
Like I didn't make the cut.
word, not even a mention. You know how I did for you.
I know, right?
Sis, I got you. Within the same breath, my sister and I became very close when my brother went into the military, and we just built upon that bond of brotherhood. Some people get along with their siblings, some people don't. And I've learned so much from her because she was my go-to in regards to dating. I asked her so many different questions because at a younger age, they may have been things that I may not have been necessarily ready to ask my mom because I was too young. And she would have said, boy, get them, I slapped them. You understand? I'm in junior high school, 7th grade. I remember this young lady that I liked, and I was on the phone with her. And my sister and I, we were both in the kitchen. So I put the phone to my sister when she speak. And my sister, do all this, say this. So she think I'm Shakespeare, all the stuff I'm saying. Meanwhile, she don't know. This is my sister feeding me all the lines. You understand?
Oh, Mel, no.
Yeah. I mean,
Shout out to Mel.
too many different examples I could go on about. She's definitely a staunch supporter of her brothers. Jack could tell you she's at everything.
Facts.
I mean, everything. She's there, and then she bring people, and she's continuing to support me throughout the day and in my rise. And I've said this during a couple of episodes. The greatest gift that God ever gave was women, and I'll continue to say that as we have this podcast because hands down, that's it. That's it. So daughter, sister, mom, definitely all within different breaths, but within the same breath because without any of them, I couldn't be me or continue to be who I am. And someone else I definitely want to mention, outside of keeping it, within my circle, we got to mention Harriet Tubman. I mean, for history's sake and just for what she did and what we're still learning about, what young people are learning about, and just her having the bravery to do so with the Underground Railroad and what she did with the slave. That's just one of those things you just don't forget about. And, you know, at some point when we have grandchildren, you understand, not to rush anything along.
Not rushing nobody to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're not rushing anybody to do anything. Please let me emphasize that, right?
Right.
But these are one of the things that you may be teaching your grandchildren about. You may have the book right there in your house. Let me teach you about this person. Let me teach you about that person. And someone else definitely I mentioned because I like reading about space. Dr. Macy Jemison. She was the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
Black astronaut
Mm-hmm.
in 1992. She went into space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they say, space the final frontier. That's just one of those things. If you meet her just in passing, it can't be a quick conversation because you just want to know so much about what she saw, what she did, why that field. I mean, and talking about a field where it was no Black people. You understand? If summer was very few, and then to get up there to be an astronaut, that took some willpower beyond willpower. And who did she pull that strength from to want to continue on? And I'm sure she faced a whole lot of things, a whole lot of threats, a whole lot of everything, but she still did it. So definitely flowers to all the people that mentioned. You know, I definitely have more as we continue on, but you know, I'll release the floor to D1. Again, D1, thank you for this topic.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. This is great. And we could always go back to this because we'll always have more women to give flowers to. And thanks for them being great.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. Child, I don't even know why I chose this topic because I don't know how I'm gonna get through this without tears.
Let it out.
It's
Let
all
it
right.
out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too gangster to cry.
Stop it. Stop it.
I am. I'm too gangster for that. Okay, let me.
Why? Because you from Webster? Knock that shit.
Well, listen.
Web in the building.
I'm going to try my best. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to start with some women at a distance. That way, as I get to women closer to me, if I start crying, one of y'all got to take over. One of y'all got to handle it for me. Because I am such a cry baby. And I'll tell you why when I get to some of the women in my life. But the women at a distance who somehow have made an impact on me. And I don't know if I could give the words to exactly the hows and the whys of it all. But Patti LaBelle, for some reason, I am so drawn to that woman. She just exudes so much to me. Like it feels like there's nothing in the world that she can't overcome. And her music and her whole mood, and like I just love that woman. And I've loved her probably for like 3 decades. Like I've loved her for the longest time. I also want to speak to the powerful representation of Misty Copeland, the Black ballerina.
Yeah.
Who followed in the footsteps of people like Dorothy Dandridge and some other kind of like Black female trailblazers in the dance world, which Ja, it feels like you have a direct correlation into that space.
Yeah, I do.
Yep. Who else do I want to speak to who's at a little bit of a distance from me? I don't know. More people, there's plenty of women. More will certainly come to mind, but those are a few that kind of at the forefront of my mind in this moment. Then as I get closer to me, I have to speak about my girl crew. My girl crew are easy C1, calm down. So I guess the first thing I need to say on the heels of that is that visually and physically, my girl crew is stunning. A beautiful group of women. But when I tell you we've been through life together, like, see, when you were talking about those topics that you didn't necessarily want to go to your mother and talk about, well, when I didn't want to go to my mother and talk about something, or I didn't feel like I could, there was somebody in my girl crew who I could go to. And we kind of raised each other up. And some of us, I have one friend who, my longest friend, I've known since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And we are still friends, still road dogs to this day.
Nice.
And I don't think I have anybody in my girl crew who hasn't been in my circumference for like I'm talking 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. Like, we are tight. We are tight. So shout out to Renee, Alicia, Lisa, Natasha, LT. Karis, Fiona, Shaniqua. I know I'm missing somebody, but all of y'all, I love y'all to bits and pieces. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna get in trouble because I shouldn't have said names, because somebody's gonna be like, you didn't say mine.
You already know.
I'm more, I shouldn't have done that.
Respectfully, your heart is there.
Respectfully. All of y'all know who y'all are. Then as I get a little bit closer, I need to give special recognition to all of the aunties. My aunties are a phenomenal, powerful group of women. I've learned that, and they're all community oriented. They are all like quiet community organizers. They carry femininity, they carry humility, they carry power, they carry connection, they carry example. And I just want to thank them all for being such powerful examples to me.
Thank you, aunties.
Thank you, aunties.
Salute to the aunties. Yes.
Salute to all of them.
Yes.
Aunt Eloise, Aunt Louisa, Aunt Kathy. There's also, who are no longer with me, Aunt Genevieve, Aunt Gwen. Then some honorary aunties, all of them. I love you all. We go from aunties. Who we going to next?
Who's closer than aunties?
You're getting closer.
Who's closer than aunties?
So from aunties, I'm gonna go to. Okay. It's coming, y'all. Ciao. Why didn't either one of y'all cry? I don't understand.
It's inside.
Exactly. It's inside. Definitely
I'm still
inside.
a few levels removed and I'm already feeling it well up. But I
gotta let it out. Come on.
No, I will not.
Come on.
I gotta shout out my cousins, my girl cousins, especially, who have been examples. But there's one particular girl cousin who I have spoken to in some form or fashion, either actually speaking to her, voice note, or text, every day for the past 4 years.
Wow.
Girl. I'm not even going to say who you are. You know who you are. I love you. You've been such an example to me. Talk about spiritual guidance. The way we've held each other up, the way she has held me up, the way she has listened, the way she has gathered me, which she did just today. F you, cousin. But she is like a lifesaver. She's literally kept me out of jail. I'm telling y'all, I was ready to go. I was ready to risk it all. And she was like,
how many times she kept you out of jail?
One really major time. One really major time. So She gathered me all the way up that day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go from her to my baby girls. Y'all done already talked about how your daughters teach you lessons. I concur. My daughters have taught me so many lessons that I didn't even want.
You didn't want.
I did not want them.
Yeah, that's what they do. Big facts.
Why? Why they come for your neck in the way they come for your neck?
Yes, sir. Talk about it.
Gentlemen, I don't know any experience more humbling than raising a daughter.
That's a fact.
And it's like, my son is beautiful too, but we're talking about the girls.
Yeah, it's about the women tonight. It's about the women.
It's about the women. It's about the ladies.
Yeah, let's go. So good.
And my daughters have taught me, similarly to you, Ja, to not stay in the background. They've taught me to use my voice. They've taught me to be seen. They've taught me to be daring. They've taught me to be myself. They've taught me that there's pieces of myself that are not as great as I think they are.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Thank you, baby girls. I had enough lessons now. I don't need no more.
There's more to come. Believe that. Come on.
It's a lot more. A
whole lot more. It's just for life.
I can't with them. I can't. Then if I go from the daughters, I'm getting closer, y'all.
You're getting closer. You're getting closer.
I'm getting closer. My mother.
There it is. There it is.
Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, God. Okay.
We got handkerchiefs, D1. We got handkerchiefs. Don't even worry about that.
I should have bought tissue. There's no crying. I'll use this as my tissue. There's no crying in podcasting. My mom, when I tell you, C1, you might remember, my mom was so strict. Oh my God. Oh my God. When I was younger, all I wanted was a little bit of latitude. Let me go. Let me do what the other kids on the block are doing. Why can't I do what they doing? I wanted to do what the other kids in school were doing. I just wanted to be able to move. Why I gotta be in dance class every Saturday? Why dance class gotta go from 1 p.m. until 1 a.m.? Like, why can't I go home? Let me go home. Let me run the streets. Maryland was not about that life at all. And it's not until my adult life and my kind of recent adult life where I started to be like, thanks, Mom. Thank you. Like, I really appreciate that. She held such a strong boundary, and she made sure that she did the best that she could to make sure that I would not get caught up in the ills of the world. She's the most consistent person I know. There's no moment that I actually have to call her, because she called me earlier and I didn't answer the phone. So now I'm going to be in trouble. Sorry, Mom, I'm going to call you. But she is the most consistent woman I know. She's shown up to every parent-teachers conference ever. And that was her. She was like, there is no way. If there's a parent-teachers conference in college, I will be there.
I know that's right.
In college.
Like, Mommy, no.
That's
college, no less.
Hard. Like, nah.
He was like, really, Mom? College?
Nah, chill. They canceled
She was
it.
serious, y'all.
Nah, dig it.
So serious.
Dig it.
She's shown up to every performance, everything for me, for her grandchildren. Like, she tell her what it is, she will be there. And I really, really, really appreciate that. I appreciate the consistency, the love, the support. I didn't appreciate it then, Ma, but I'm with you now. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She got more. Go ahead.
Y'all, this is the one. This is the one that's going to take me out.
We here for it. Come on.
Ooh, child. My Nana. Anybody who knows me knows that my Nana is my heart. Anybody. I, to this day, will do anything for that woman. She is 101 years old.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Let's clap for that. Hold on.
Come on. Come on.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yes.
And counting. And counting.
And counting.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I can't even finish this one. I can't even finish it. She is the most beautiful woman that I have ever met in my life. Ma, I love you, but Nana, but Nana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I spent so many of my childhood years in and out of number holes with that woman.
You know I know where it's at.
I know you know where it's at. I know you know where it's at. And I know.
Oh, I know you got stories.
Back.
I already know you got stories.
Listen,
yeah.
Of my Nana eating number papers while she running from Popo.
Yo.
Listen,
oh, wow. Yeah, yeah.
If I was ever looking for my Nana, people go, did you go to the number hole? No, there's a new one around the corner. Did you go to my Nana, I feel like very different from my mother. My mother was boundaried in a particular way, and she kind of kept to herself. My Nana was not that. My Nana knew everybody on the block. Everybody knew her as AH. Everybody loved her. Everybody protected her. She taught me things like how to put peanuts in Pepsi bottles to have the sugar and the salt. She allowed things that my mother didn't allow. When I started sniffing around boys a little bit, and she got a wind that I was sniffing around boys, she went ahead and she condoned that. She was like, all right, girl. So we had our little private secrets.
Go get your little taste. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, go get you a little taste. My Nana is my
gas
heart
station.
and my soul. Gas station.
Big time.
So yeah, I think that's it. I can't say nothing else. I love these women. I love them, all of them.
Yeah.
So, but every single one of them, so we can't let this show go without giving you your flowers. You definitely are a woman,
Of course.
and we've given all the gratitude and graciousness. And, we only have an hour to tape this. I'm sure Jock could just go on for a whole episode about the women he mentioned. I could go on for a whole episode about the women that I mentioned. But at the same time, we're here at this very moment. D1 is on here. So please allow us to give you your flowers, D1. How this initially started, where we mentioned in the D1, was she interested in the podcast? And it was just based on our conversations. If you speak to D1, you know that a 5-minute conversation going to turn into 2 hours, because she definitely want to analyze and psychoanalyze every single point that you mentioned. So if you get on the phone and you talk, I got a little situation. What happened? Oh, man, I went to the place and everything. We'll discuss that later. So 20 minutes later, Mark, listen, but you never tell me what happened when you went to the place. You still on that? Now you gotta tell what happened at the place. Then that's gonna turn into another 30 minutes. So what sprung from these 5-minute conversations that turned into 2 hours was, damn, she could talk. You understand? I said, but I like talking to her because it flows. if you're having a conversation with someone and you never look at the time, you know you're enjoying the conversation and you don't realize it till you off. So I said, wow, I think it'd be a good idea because the subject range from this to that across the whole gamut. A lot of the times we talking about relationships and things of that nature, but across the whole gamut. So, you know, I mentioned it to Ja and I asked D1 about the threesome. See where your minds is at, right? I'm like, oh, wow. I'm talking about the three of us having this podcast, right? So she said, yeah. And as you can see, this is our third season and what it has become. And I don't know if you noticed from watching how we flip shows, you know, D1 still wants to psychoanalyze and understand relationships and dynamics. What makes people tick? And then why does that make you tick? And why does that make you tick with the next person you're around? Or why doesn't it? She want to understand these dynamics and just allow me to assume that this is just to make that person better, make the world better. And then by her learning that, maybe she could make other people around her better. And you could tell by the different episodes and things that she picks what she want to do. So this is just my opportunity right now, D1, to give my flowers to you and say thank you for being you, being on this episode, being on the podcast, being part of Not Right, Not Wrong, and that you continue on in that regard and be great.
Yes. And
Man.
so, and what I would like to say, D1, we've known each other for a short period of time, but during that short period of time, I find you to be a very dynamic woman, an insightful woman, a woman who I learned if she likes someone, she's going to be loyal, and she'll be, if she finds you trustworthy, she'll be trustful to you. And I've experienced that with D1. And aside from the beauty, D1 is very smart. And although I haven't experienced it fully, D1 can be very lethal with the tongue. Don't think I ain't noticed. Don't think I ain't noticed.
I've been containing it. I'm
Yeah.
evolving. Remember that?
But I know you're very capable of gathering people.
Gathering. I like that. I like how you word that.
Yeah. This is how they do it. Is that how you do it?
You got to turn a little bit to the side. You got.
Okay.
You don't gather. Well, I guess you could gather somebody straight on, but this side gather.
Oh, it's like 90 degree, like 90 degree, a little bit, 90 degree, a little bit. Okay.
That's when it's deep.
That's when it's something serious. That's when it's something serious. But D1, I'm glad that we are in each other's space and we have existed in each other's lives, and of course we thank Mark for that. He's been the glue, but you and I have established a bond, and I appreciate the bond and I enjoy the bond, and I look forward to our relationship to being stronger as the years progress and go by, God willing. So thank you, D1. Love you, D1. And yes, I'm glad that you're a part of this show. And this trio is nothing short of perfect.
Facts.
Thank you.
Yes.
I swear I did not pick this topic for this moment. I did not. And I feel so like, I don't know. I appreciate it so much.
It's all right.
Thank you. And I just have to say, as I'm getting older and spending more time on this planet, my grandmother is such a big crier. Nana cries for everything. And me and my mom used to make fun of her, like, Nana, what are you crying for? Like, if she's happy, if she's sad, it didn't matter. She was going to cry. And then my mother started to do the same thing. And I'm like, Mommy, what for are you crying? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And now I find that I do the same. I cry for everything now. And so this was a little bit more emotional than I expected it to be. I appreciate it. I accept the flowers. I accept the recognition, but woo, child, we gotta go. I can't stay on this. I can't do this anymore. Y'all have taken me through all of the paces today. So let's close it up, shall we?
You got the floor.
You got the floor. Let's do it.
To all the ladies who we've loved and continue to love, thank you. We appreciate you. We learn from you. We hear you. We see you. We appreciate you. We value you. And thank you so much for your impact in our lives.
Thank you.
And your
Truly.
impact in the world.
Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, this is not right, not wrong. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Peace and blessings.
Till next time.